Is Raleigh a good place to live? Well, that's a great question. And today I'm going to answer it for you because it's a question I get all the time from families and executives who are relocating to our area. So today I'm going to share with you what it's really like to live in Raleigh, especially if you're looking for a lifestyle that's going to blend your career growth, elevated neighborhoods, and plenty to do around town for your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Trish Dare with Dare Realty Group right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I've lived in this area for about 2 decades now, and I help families, many of them medical professionals, executives, moving to the Triangle every week. So if you're planning on making a move, this channel is for you because I share what it's really like to buy a home here, enjoy the lifestyle, and see what it's all about. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos and stick around because you're going to see why Raleigh has become one of the most attractive cities in the entire U.S. for career growth and elevated living. But before we dive into the neighborhoods and lifestyles, let's look at what's really fueling Raleigh's incredible growth, and it's its economy. The economy here continues to rank among the highest and the strongest job market in the country. In fact, Raleigh was just voted #1 place for recent college graduates, and that's the second year it's received that accolade. And a lot of it has to do with the Research Triangle Park, or RTP, the acronym that it's known for, so you may have seen that around. And that is where 385 companies are housed, employing over 60,000 people. And within Research Triangle Park, you're going to find companies from tech companies, biotech, pharma, and financial. In fact, it's home to many large companies that you would recognize, such as Cisco, IBM, Google, Microsoft, Fidelity. Such an amazing park, and it's grown over the years. And that's not the only place in the area. We're also seeing a biotech hub emerge down in Holly Springs, which is about 25 minutes southwest of Raleigh. And that is becoming a global hub for life sciences, and companies are investing billions of dollars down there, and they're creating thousands of high-paying jobs. Then you add that all in with our world-class healthcare systems from Duke, UNC, and Wake Med, plus the newly announced Children's Health Campus, which is going to be happening in Apex. That alone is going to be employing 18,000 jobs when you look at all the jobs and all the growth it's going to be bringing to the area. I think 8,000 of those are just within the hospital. And that's going to be a beautiful regional hospital, one of the biggest in the Southeast. So you can see that the economy is thriving across multiple sectors. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people, like my clients, who are relocating from places such as New York, California, Florida, and it's why they're choosing Raleigh. It's because there's so many career opportunities tied in with the wonderful lifestyle that this area affords. In fact, the unemployment rate here is 3.5%, which is well below the national average. Once people see the job market, the next question is, where do people actually live? So let's just talk about Raleigh and the neighborhoods within Raleigh and what you can expect from today's market. Now, when we look at Raleigh, we truly have a lot of different neighborhoods that we can look at, and especially for the lifestyle that you would want. Most people choose inside the Beltline because it's close to downtown and it's walkable to a lot of different areas. Inside the Beltline, so if you looked at a map of Raleigh within that 440 corridor, they're close to downtown. You're going to find historic homes, tree-lined streets in areas such as historic Oakwood and Mordecai. Also up in Five Points in the Hayes-Barden area, you're going to find older homes. Although they are building some new houses up in that Five Points area, they've been remodeling a lot of homes. So truly a great area for someone who wants to be close to downtown and close to some of the restaurants and bars that the downtown scene has to offer. Then there's also another area called the Village District. There you're going to find also walkability around the Village District shopping area. And you're also going to have a mix of college students sprinkled in because that's where NC State is. And a lot of those areas within the Beltline are going to be starting at that $1 million price point and up, depending on the size of the home and the condition. The area referred to as Midtown Raleigh is between the 440 corridor and the 540 corridor. One of the most popular areas within that Midtown region is North Hills. And if you watch my video right here on North Hills, you'll see that it's a wonderful place to live. It's a live, work, play area with lots to do. It's very vibrant. There's lots of stores and restaurants coming to that North Hills shopping area. And then the surrounding homes, we're seeing a lot of new construction of executive homes that are starting in that $2 million range and above, depending again on the size of the home. But we're seeing a lot of knockdowns in that North Hills region. And it's really for that executive buyer who wants to be close to downtown and for someone who really wants that lifestyle to be able to walk to some of the shops or have them within a short drive of the restaurants and shops that North Hills offers. And then as you start to head more north in Raleigh, past the 540 corridor, you're going to find larger custom homes on private lots. It's very wooded up in North Raleigh. Lots of trees. The homes usually have very large home sites, some of them gated communities, and beautiful homes that are being built up there as well. I would say starting in the $1.5 million to well over $2 million range. There are some other homes in the lower price points scattered throughout Midtown and North Raleigh, but those are going to be your older homes that have been around for a while. So now that you have the feel for the housing landscape, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about what really makes Raleigh such a great place to live. And it's all around the lifestyle and what there is to do around town. And Raleigh offers a lot of different ways to get out and enjoy the outdoors. In fact, that's one of its biggest draws is that we have a lot of greenways and a lot of parks. The Capital Area Greenway is a system that has over 100 miles of trails and they connect all different parts of the town. And in addition to that trail, there's plenty of parks. William B. Umstead is one of my favorite parks in the area. I go out there a lot. I enjoy the trails. One of my favorite is the Company Trail, and that's just under 6 miles. It's a great trail through the forest, some tree roots along the path, but it really makes it more challenging. And I love that there's babbling creeks and brooks throughout the park. So it really is a beautiful hike. It's a perfect way to spend your Saturday or Sunday morning. Gather some friends or perhaps your dog and head out and enjoy the trail. Another great park right within Raleigh is Dorothea Dix Park, and that's a wonderful park which is right in the downtown, and it's starting to transform into one of the premier urban parks here in the Southeast. In fact, it just won an award, the Gibson Play Area, which is 18 acres of sheer fun. There's climbing towers, water features, gigantic swings, just a lot of fun things to do within that Gibson Play Area. And as I mentioned, it's already won an award. So great area. And then during the summer in Dorothea Dix Park, they have a sunflower field that's just beautiful. A lot of people go out. They love to go out there and take pictures. And you have to go quickly because the sunflowers only last for a few weeks. It's beautiful to see right there in downtown Raleigh with the beautiful Raleigh skyline in the background. And then as far as dining, Raleigh has really increased its dining options in the last 2 decades, with many restaurants coming into Raleigh and the surrounding areas with so much to offer. You can find lots of different international cuisines and great places to go have dinner. There's rooftop bars or breweries to hang out and watch your favorite sports game. Also, there's one of the famous chefs, Ashley Christensen, has 2 restaurants. She's a James Beard Award winner, and she has 2 restaurants there in downtown Raleigh. And then, of course, there's always our authentic barbecue that we love here in the South. And you'll find that it's a little bit different than maybe what you've seen in the Midwest. It's actually vinegar-based. So some people like it and some don't. Have you tried the vinegar-based barbecue? Let me know. Leave a comment below and let me know if you liked it. As far as other social activities, Raleigh is packed with things that you would expect to find in any other capital city or any other urban area. There's plenty of concerts throughout the year, plenty of festivals, always something to do, especially in the spring, summer, and fall. And as far as sporting events, we have several all year long. The Carolina Hurricanes are a big attraction here. Everyone gets behind our hockey team. And it really is a great time to go and watch the game. And it's really very enjoyable. And in fact, where the Carolina Hurricanes play in PNC Arena is also right next to Carter Finley, which is where the NC State football team plays their games. And they are going to be building a big entertainment area in that section. They're trying to connect those 2 arenas and make it a destination for people to go and an entertainment hub. They're starting to break ground this year on that right after the football season has ended for NC State. And so at first, we're going to start to see some parking options, restaurants, Eventually, they're going to have retail, a hotel, maybe some apartments. So there definitely is a several phase project. It's going to be exciting to see what they build down there to get that more of a destination when people go to concerts or games. And then speaking of college sports, basketball is really big here. So if you're into college basketball, you're going to really love March around the Raleigh area. Everybody gets into the games. The games are on wherever you go, any restaurant, any attorney's office, banks, you'll see the games being played. Everyone loves to watch it because we have such great basketball schools here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. And then many of my clients and long-term residents love that they can get away for quick weekends. It's common actually to see people heading out to the coast. It's a 2 to 3 hour drive, depending what beach you go to, and then 3 hours out to the Blue Ridge Mountains. So because they are so close, it's very common to see people that live here in Raleigh have second homes either at the coast or at the mountains. So something good to know, if you've ever dreamed about having a beach house, you could actually find one with ocean views along the North Carolina coast for under $1 million. In fact, you could probably find a nice condo in the $500,000 to $600,000 range. Now let's talk about one of Raleigh's most underrated benefits, and that's the weather. If you're moving from an extreme climate, you're definitely going to know the difference. What's great is that Raleigh, we still have 4 seasons here, and that's a huge draw. But for those coming from the north, those harsh winters or blizzards are going to be a thing of the past. You're not going to be shoveling snow. We may get 1 or 2 snows a year. Sometimes it's just a light dusting. Sometimes we'll get a few inches, which everyone gets so excited about. The grocery stores do run out of milk and bread. Yes, it's a thing. And schools shut down sometimes for several days. So it's a great snow day for people to just enjoy family, enjoy friends, and enjoy that snow that we get maybe once or twice a year. In fact, the winters are usually mild. I would say usually in the mid 50s. We do get occasionally in January and February where we do have temperatures that are close to freezing or sometimes below freezing, but those never really last that long, usually a few days at a time, and then it's back in the 50s. People here still go out and play golf and tennis in those winter months because what I think is different than some of the northern climates is that even though it might be cold outside, what we like to call Carolina blue skies. And the skies here are beautiful in the winter, not a cloud on the sky, beautiful blue. So I think that's the real difference between some of the colder days up north where they're gray and dreary. The cold days here tend to be sunny and beautiful. And for those of you that are coming from Florida or Texas, we have real seasons here. So in the spring, you're going to see the beautiful azaleas, and in the fall, it's full of color. It's absolutely amazing and spectacular to watch. And yes, the summers can be hot and humid, but you're never too far from a pool or a lake. Many people have pools in their backyard. They're becoming very popular over the last 5 or 6 years. And the good thing is too, you're only 3 hours to the mountains where the temperatures in the summer are definitely a lot cooler, and 2 to 3 hours to the beaches of North Carolina where you can have a beautiful day at the beach. And because Raleigh is continuing to grow, let's look to see what it means for your daily life, what it's like to commute, how you can be connected, and a little bit of the real talk. So when we look at Raleigh, Raleigh is growing fast. I mean, it's been on every major news source saying it's one of the #1 places to live. With tens of thousands of new residents coming every year, Raleigh continues to grow. We're adding restaurants, we're adding housing, we're expanding the roads and making them better. And so that's helping with the commutes. And yes, traffic has increased over the last several years. But however, when we compare it to some other major metros like Northern Virginia, Atlanta, Miami, LA, the commute times here are still incredibly manageable. In fact, one of the major things about Raleigh is that there's several different ways to get to one spot. So you can really navigate some of those traffic jams and some of the areas where there may have been an accident. And then the other benefit, if you have to travel for work, our international airport, Raleigh-Durham International, is a wonderful airport. It's easy to get in and out of. I truly enjoy flying out of there. It's such a pleasure. It's an It started off as a regional airport, but they have increased the flights, and especially the nonstop flights, both domestically and international, over the last several years. In fact, just recently, they announced a nonstop to Dublin. So in recent years, some of the nonstops to international destinations that they've increased has been to Paris, London, Frankfurt, Iceland, Bermuda, some areas around the Caribbean. So really making it nice, because before you used to have to connect through either Atlanta or Charlotte. So here's the big picture of life in Raleigh. We have a booming economy, great career potential, upscale neighborhoods, a thriving dining and entertainment scene, and outdoor living all year round because of our weather, and the ability to go quick weekend escapes to both the beach and the mountains. And that's why so many professionals, those in the medical field or the biotech field and tech, are coming to our area. They're moving here and they're choosing to call Raleigh home. So if Raleigh or anywhere else around the triangle, any of the suburbs are on your radar, let's connect. My information is below. You can reach out via my website, Dare Realty Group. There's a link to my calendar. You can schedule a call or just email or call me direct, and let's connect. And don't forget to subscribe and tell me in the comments what neighborhoods or lifestyle topics you would like for me to cover next. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next video.